Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for giving me this chance to present our experience in Egypt, our revolution. We call it e-revolution 2.0. This is the electronic revolution or a Facebook revolution. We try to create some new model for revolutions in the history. Today, I'm coming from a scientific background. I'm a scientist, so I'm not a politician or something. So I will try to explain what's happened in Egypt and Middle East from the point of the effect of social media, communication, networking, and how this impact or affect the social change in the Middle East and Egypt as well. Before, they said the social media is just a virtual online world, and the people in the Facebook or Twitter or YouTube or whatsoever they are doing, it's just a virtual. These people are not exist or just exist in the computer. But we proved that the Egyptian transfer the virtual world to a real world in the street and make our e-revolution 2.0. Just a general view for the what's the Middle East statistically, what's the Middle East forms or the democracies in Middle East in general. And the Middle East is consists about 24, 25 countries. The population is about 400, the Arab countries especially, about 400 million people. The Economist Democracy Index in 2010, based on the UN ranking, default democracy, none. Flawed democracy, only one. Hybrid regimes, about 3, like Kuwait, Jordan, Lebanon. Authoritarian regimes, it's about 16. We understand now why the revolution is spread in the Middle East. For the Egypt, regarding Egypt, we are the majority because we are about 84, 85 million people. The median age in Egypt it's about 24, 25. The literacy rate is about 45%. The internet usage in Egypt is about 21%. The GDP is $2,900. The UN our ranking according to UN, this is the achievements of our regime during the 30, 40 years ago. We always achieved the higher ranking in the poverty, in the lack of democracy, lack of unemployment, the unemployment. The Human Development Index ranking, we are ranked in number 101 from 169 countries. Reporters Without Borders Press Freedom Index ranking, we are the country number 127 from 178. The Transparency International Corruption Perception Index ranking, we are ranking in number 98 from 178. The world countries. Just to understand what's happening in Egypt. I have been asked many questions why this revolution happened. We thought that Egypt enjoying the democracy. Mubarak has doing very well during his era and has a good relationship with all the neighbors around, all the world, the America, the Western, the Israel, and the other Arab neighbors. Actually, wasn't the reality because really he has a good relationships with all the world, but as a leader. This is the equation we want to change. Since Mubarak jumped on the chair in 1981 with a suspicious operation with the assassination of Sadat, because Sadat was in the middle, the military officer or the military minister, and was in his left hand, Mubarak was in right hand, and all the bullets just assassinate Sadat without touching any one of them. Anyway, this is not our task, but Hosni Mubarak built his relationships on the benefits with the others, with the other countries, with the neighbors, just for his and his regime benefits, but not for the people benefits. This is the equation we want to change now. We want to build a new relationships with all the neighbors, with all the Western countries, with America, with everyone, but based on what's the people needs. what the Egyptian want to achieve, and with respect to the others, and also we are expecting the respect from the others. During the period of I like to divide the era of Hosni Mubarak to 3 divisions. The first division starting from the presidency time at 1981, and this era will end by the war in Iraq. During this period, Mubarak started to build his empire in Egypt, start to build the base of his empire to get all the benefits and make his wife controlling even the political life in Egypt. His son became one of the big businessmen in Egypt. His older son, Gamal Mubarak, and Gamal Mubarak, he's holding the political issue, and was ready to Mubarak to hand over the authority to his son. The next stage started from 2004 until last year. At this stage, or at this period, the regime start to behave differently, start to create a new policy to deal with the people. He knows that he's controlling, or the people is not an easy to control 84 million. So I think he started to release some democratic processes. Just leave the people talk as they want, and we will do what you want. So starting from 2004, we start to see some movements like Kifaya, which is starting in 2004. The people just stand on the street and say enough is enough, we cannot continue anymore, enough for the lack of democracy, enough for unemployment, enough for poverty, enough for what you are suffering from. We start to see as well the bloggers and the internet, because the internet was something new technology, we can use it. So the bloggers start to write on their pages, just create a pages on the internet and write their opinions and encourage the Egyptian to take a step or to take any action. But actually, this was a very limited. So, but it started to increase. The police state start to control more, start to take a severe action for the people, torturing anyone. The emergency law is there since 1981 until this year, until we reached to 2010. We found a stone just thrown to the sluggish lake by coming of Dr. Mohammed al-Baradei, or as they call it, Mr. Baradei, in the IAEA president. I think this was the first stone thrown in this sluggish lake. Once Dr. Baradei came to Egypt and he shown his interest to change Egypt and to change the way where we are going, and this is not the right way and we deserve better. Once he showed his interest and concerns, the regime start to attack him or to play with the media to show him as a previous agenda. He's coming from a background. He's not an Egyptian. He spent about 30-40 years outside Egypt, so he don't know what's inside Egypt and how we can run the people 84 million. We need someone from inside. We need Gamal Mubarak. They mean we need the son of the president. So what he has done, he just put some steps to go to change. He said there is the front, what they call it, the Association of Change, or Change Association, or the Change Front Association. All the oppositions come around him and all sign his report to move to the democracy. All what he was need to change to democracy. We need to reconstruct the constitution again. We need a democracy. We need to change the rules of presidency elections. We need to have a supervision for our elections. But all of this, if we have a supervision election, definitely Mubarak, definitely his regime will go out. But to apply this, it needs a revolution. The next stone happened, as Riham said, Khalid Said. Khalid Said, he's tortured by the police, 2 officers, and he pushed to die by torture. And the problem is the people watching this event on the streets. Okay. Just I want, and Riham explained this very well. For the last stage was during the revolution. I think Riham explained this very well, but just I want to concentrate on 3 stages. The regime didn't understand and didn't realize that the people want to change. The people will move to change. Even during the revolutions, the 3 TV, what do you call it, report or from Hosni Mubarak, he didn't realize that there is a big change in the street. So this is how the media was running in Egypt. One of the frustrated things for all the Egyptians, as you see, Hosni Mubarak was at the back of the group of the presidents. The media, the official media, make him in the front. It was just something. This is not a media. And the 25th of January, where the people were in the streets, revolute and protesting, they say chocolate and the flowers from people to a policeman in January 25th. Yeah, this was the media, how the media was running. So this was how the media was running. The Al Jazeera was showing how many millions in the Tahrir Square and in all the squares and all the cities in Egypt, how many thousands of people protesting. Al-Arabia news was a little bit pro and against, and the Egyptian TV was showing everything is peace and nothing in the street. Also, wasn't only in Egypt. The US, Mr. Biden has been asked, what do you think, is Mubarak is a dictator? At the end, he said, I would not refer to him as a dictator. With a lot of speech he said, but at the end, he's not think that Mubarak is a dictator. With all of this killed people in the streets, and he don't think that Mubarak is a dictator. Anyway, during all of this, the media, our media, the American, the pushing from outside, but the people were running the revolution through the Facebook and the street. During the internet down for about 1 week, the people create another, Google generate another service to help the revolutionists to continue in their protesting and to continue communicate together. They create the software, speak to tweet, or how to transfer the message or to get the message through your phone by tweeting. YouTube was a big electronic media or platform to show how much the crimes in the streets, which is not shown in any was a big supplier for even for the Al Jazeera or any other the foreigner press or foreigner TVs, to show how much ugly the system our regime was. One of the Egyptian, after the revolution, he names his newborn girl as a Facebook. This was the first newborn named Facebook. After our revolution has been succeeded, this was expected. The revolution is spread everywhere. The revolution is spread everywhere because all the Middle East suffering from the same regimes. All the Middle East suffering from the same factors which cause the regime. But there is the scientist, or just to correlate between the climate change and the social change, the scientists, they say, did you notice that there is a correlation between all the countries in the Middle East suffering from the water resources lake? All the countries starting from the west of Africa until the east of Asia were suffering from the water problems, water resources problems. Does that make any sense, or does make any sense that this cause a problem? This may be one factor, but never to be all the all factors still inside what the people want. Once the revolution, the Egyptian revolution succeeded, a lot of pages of Facebook acquiring the revolution in Libya, in Yemen, in Syria, in Bahrain, in Iran. So, alive for Bahrain, alive for Iraq, alive for Libya. We've seen a lot of movements everywhere in the world. So the analysis of the correlation, or does the social media make a revolution? The analysis of the use of social media cannot be generalized at it should include the unique social characteristics of each society. So we have to consider a civilization of 7,000 years. We have a big history. So this background is a big factor to make a peaceful revolution. What did the leaders said about our revolution? Barack Obama, he said, we must educate our children to become like young Egyptian people. Prime Minister of Italy, there is nothing new in Egypt. Egyptians are making history as usual. Prime Minister of Norway, today we are all Egyptian. Australian President Fisher, the people of Egypt are the greatest people of the earth and they deserve a Nobel Prize for peace. Britain's Prime Minister, we must consider teaching the Egyptian revolution in schools. CNN, they noticed or they realized for the first time we see people make a revolution and then clean the streets afterwards. This is what's happened after revolution. Actually, recently, there is 2 or 3 people, 6 of the April 6 movements, and Wael Ghanem, who's the creator of We All, Khalid Said. He's recognized to get the Nobel Prize for Peace. One of the funny things, if we just have a look to the dates of stepping down for each of them. This photo just taken for them 2010. If we just notice that the first one step down was Ben Ali in Tunisia. The second one was Hosni Mubarak. The third one was Gaddafi, which is now it's very clear it's already vanished. The fourth one, we are expecting him soon, the Yemen president. If we look to the consequence of them, we will find 1,432. This is the moon year of this year. So the Arabian the Arabian calendar show us that this is the year of 1,330 year, which is, if we make this just quick, this is difference between the presidents. The people will not revolute for no reason. There is a big reason. If we notice that even with the failure of the other president to achieve what the people want, but at the end they achieved something. They had achieved something. For Gamal Abdel Nasser in the 50s, this was the people when he died, the people walk behind him, and we're very sad for his die. For Sadat as well, the people respect him until now, respect his sons until now. But for Hosni Mubarak, unfortunately, he became in the jail, and his sons in the jail as well. We do not know the military officers now, or the military president now, which way we will select. Just a quick photos to show how was the revolution running. The people were praying. I love this photo because the people were praying. Thousands of people were praying in the Tahrir squares, and the Christians protect them. And the Christians were praying and Muslims protect them. All of this stereotype of phobia from there is discrimination in Egypt wasn't exist. There is the police withdrawn from the streets and the people protect themselves without any need for the police states. This is our army, and this photo represents the challenge. We are the challengers. The Egyptians are religious or believers by their nature, so we have to appreciate this as well. The last thing, just I want to mention that the message we want to send to all the world, that the power of people is much stronger than the man in power. And that's it. Thank you very much.